Hey, what's going on? My name is CK, and I want to tell you about a great group called the Black Balance Network. The Black Balance Network is a cooperative of Black content creators that provide opinions and commentary. We are all about supporting the individual, collective, and community, as well as supporting businesses and ideas to the grassroots level. The group includes Business Minded Talk, D. Durrell, Love Wisdom, Faith, Ray Ray the Awareness Channel, and the Screen Learning Channel. Be sure to check us out, and we look forward to providing you with great content. So what are you waiting for? Why haven't you subscribed yet? You should be subscribing. Click the notification bell, share all of the video links, and share the channel. Please support us, and we look forward to providing you with great content. See you soon.
All right, y'all. And I am live. What's going on? What's going on? What's up, Chef Disaster? This is going to be a real good conversation tonight, y'all. I'm about to dig my feet in. It's about to go down. 10 toes down. Because we're about to get knee deep into these conversations. Got a real good topic for you. What's up, Tokyo Diamond? The topic is going to be, are white men really the better men? You know, we always tend to compare Black men to white men. And I just had a viewer send me an email a few days ago asking me to do this topic. So this topic is by special request. Shout out to Cynthia. Oh yeah, we about to get into it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my monologue. After my monologue, we're going to get down to the nitty gritty. So if any of you got any questions, get ready to grab that link because it's going down. What's up, Joe? Now, see, I'm out here in Arizona, so I'm around a whole bunch of them. You know, Black people, we're only about less than 6% of the population out here. So I see it all. I see white men with their women. I see interracial couples. I see Black men and Black women together. I see Black men with other women. So it's about to go down. Who is the better person to be with? Are we constantly comparing our men to these white men, but they're no better? What's the difference between Brad and Pookie? We're going to cut into this conversation today, y'all. All right. What's up? What's up? Let me go ahead and turn my cam on. What's up, y'all? Yeah, you know what? I got my mood background. You know how they be saying she hit the wall? There the wall is right there. There the wall is, y'all. All right, but you know what? I made the wall a little blurry because we're going to see what's going on at this wall for real today, y'all. All right, so shout out to Cynthia. She sent me an email asking me to do this topic. And so I'm going to go ahead. Chef Disaster said, Chef Disaster cracking up. Yeah, I got the wall behind me, Chef. The wall is behind me, but it's a little fuzzy. We're going to defeat that wall today. Yeah, Tokyo, this is new. This is some new stuff. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my email and I'm going to read what Cynthia wrote me in a request to do this topic. So basically she's saying, hey, Faith, I have been enjoying all the content by the content creators. I'm learning a different sense of humor, etc. I am just sharing something that may be a topic. If not, just put it in the trash bin. Well, you know what, Cynthia? I couldn't put this one in the trash bin. This was just too juicy to pass up. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. Thank you so much. And if any of you ever have anything that you want to see me talking about on this channel, trust and believe I am going through these emails. And if I like your topic, it will definitely be something that I will discuss on the Faith Jones channel. But let me continue, right? She says, I always say white people know everything that happens in Black homes, but we don't have the same insight into what takes place in white homes. Black men and women have a double portion of problems, but if white women are having these issues, Black women will be collateral damage in these courts. A famous quote comes to mind. When white America catches a cold, Black America catches pneumonia. And this is so true. This is so true. And that is, I believe, the first time I heard it was on Malcolm X, that movie by Spike Lee. But don't get me wrong. I don't know exactly where that quote originated, but I feel that that is so true. But I'll continue to read. She continues to write. She says, when white women get this treatment in the courts, what will Black women get? We mostly take the position that white men are providers and set this as the standard for Black men. But are white men really providing, or is there something other than that provision that white women get? It is a positive for white men to appear to be a provider. Many times white women just get the fringe benefits of their husbands working, but many white men are working for themselves. And you can tell this when the divorce rolls around. So true. These white men are in it for themselves when it comes time for that divorce court. If these white men were so involved in providing for their families, then why at minimum wouldn't these same white men white male providers provide for their kids? And this is true. These white men go into these courthouses, and we don't get to see this in Black America. They don't never show the white man fuckery, but they are trying their best to give as less as possible in the divorce. And this includes as less as possible to their children. So I'll read on, because Cynthia, you on point, girl. Shout out to Cynthia again. White men have and continue to do many of the same things we accuse some Black men of doing, but real fair and balanced conversations are not being had. Cynthia, not so fast. This is the Faith Jones channel, and we're going to have a fair and balanced conversation about this right here today. When these white men finish with their wives, these white women are lower than an infertile female slave bought to produce slave babies. Welfare nor child support were created for Black women. Welfare and child support were created for white women. And the reason why is because white men left their wives and children. The only difference between Tyrone and Bob is the veneer of white marriage is different than the image of Black baby daddy. Let me say that again. The only difference between Tyrone and Bob is that the veneer of white marriage is different than the image of a Black baby daddy. And this is so true. We view white marriage as being somehow a cut above our relationships. We have our children living in households where the two parents are together, but they're just not married on paper. And somehow, since Brad and Becky are married, we think that they're doing just fine over there. We think that they're doing way better than Tyrone and Keisha. But could it be that maybe they're going through the exact same thing as Tyrone and Keisha? So let's continue to read. I think things need to be broken down so it can be dissected, discussed, and solved. A little lie and a lot of truth corrupts the entire message. I also listened to you discuss, I think it was a relative, a PK kid, got pregnant, shotgun wedding, so to speak, had a toxic marriage, divorced. In society, even though the child was conceived out of wedlock under the same conditions as many baby mamas, why does society buy into the BS that the couple that got married is viewed better than the unmarried baby mama? Is the child that is front and center in the toxic marriage better off than the child brought up by a single mother? If we don't agree to the to the rules of the game, if we don't agree, then the rules of the game won't be played under those conditions. I am just putting a couple links. Most info is from Florida, but I am a Floridian, but similar actions are all across the United States. So she left me 2 links to 2 videos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up both of these videos. One is 14 minutes long, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and play it in its entirety because I think it's really important that you listen to it, okay? You listen to it and you get, as a matter of fact, I'm only just going to play that one just to cut down on a lot of time. I'm just going to play the one video. But as I look over here and to see how many of you are in here, hello, 6-figure days, screen learning. What's up, my man? What's up? Hey, Doug. Doug, one of the hardest working moderators in YouTube. What's up, Doug? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play this audio. I got my audio issues together, guys, but if you can't hear it, please kindly let me know so that I can adjust my audio. But let me go ahead and just share my screen real quick so that you guys can get a load of this. What's up, Mama Max? Mama Max in the house. All right, so let me go ahead. Sarah's full story. We're going to share that screen. There we go. All right, so I got the audio up. I hope you guys can hear it. I'm going to point this thing over here to the computer so my mic can catch it. Let me know.
My life before my divorce was amazing. I married who I thought was the love of my life.
Fair use.
We had dated for almost 2 years. We had our baby girl 9 months and a few days after our wedding, and life was perfect. And I stayed.
Oh, hold on a second. Now it looks
home.
like
I took care of her. I took her to all of her school activities, all of our church activities. We were very active in our church. I never had to look at the price of anything because
hold on.
My husband brought home.
Let me try this again because this thing is buffering too much and it wasn't doing that before. Now when I get in the show, all of a sudden it wants to buffer. But before, when I was listening to it by myself, there was no buffering. Let's try this one more time, guys. I am so sorry.
Spent most of my life.
Okay, so now let's try this one more time. I'm going to share this screen again and see if this is going to stop with the buffering here, because I don't like this. All right, here we go.
My life before my divorce was amazing. I married who I thought was the love of my life. We had dated for almost 2 years. We had our baby girl 9 months.
The white man is holding me back from playing this video for y'all.
A few days after our wedding, and life was perfect. And I stayed home. I took care of her. I took her to all of her school activities, all of our church activities. We were very active in our church. I never had to look at the price of anything because my husband brought home almost $14,000 a month. And I just literally didn't have a care in the world. I thought I did. I thought there were things that I should worry about and that I did worry about, but come to find out, I didn't worry about the right things, which was protecting myself and making sure that if the bottom fell out after 20 years, I would land in a safe space. We had a rough patch, and when we were living in Arizona, and I went to work, and I worked for almost 5 years. I had a really great job, and he just kept at me until he kept saying, I love you.
You know what? I'm going to try to see if I can pull this up in a different browser. Because this is getting on my nerve. Let me stop sharing my screen.
That I put money in your checking account every week so you have money to do.
Yeah, this is too much, y'all. This is too freaking much. I want y'all to listen to this woman's story because she tells it perfectly exactly what ended up happening to her. Let me see if I can just play it through my cell phone and let you guys just hear the audio from there. Hold on a second. Better for me to do that. 1 second. All right, let me go ahead and turn this off. While I get this audio stuff together for you. Hold on. All right, I got to get the right email real quick. Sorry about this. Here we go. All right, so I'm scrolling down to the bottom of my email now to see if I can capture it on my phone.
Spent most of my life. My life before my divorce was amazing. I married who I thought was the love of my life. We had dated for almost 2 years. We had our baby girl 9 months and a few days after our wedding, and life was perfect. And I stayed home. I took care of her. I took her to all of her school activities, all of our church activities. We were very active in our church. I never had to look at the price of anything because my husband brought home almost $14,000 a month. And I just literally didn't have a care in the world. I thought I did. I thought there were things that I should worry about and that I did worry about, but come to find out, I didn't worry about the right things, which was protecting myself and making sure that if the bottom fell out after 20 years, I would land in a safe space. We had a rough patch, and when we were living in Arizona, and I went to work, and I worked for almost 5 years. I had a really great job, and he just kept at me until he kept saying, you know, I love you. I'm going to take care of you all of your life. If you quit your job, I'll make sure that I put money in your checking account every week so you have money to do for our child and groceries and just things that you and our daughter will need. And he did. I finally gave in when we came to Florida, and my daughter was 10 years old at that time, and he was putting $900 in my checking account every 2 weeks. And I bought whatever I needed. I bought whatever my daughter wanted. I never thought twice about any expenditures. I had credit cards and, you know, and I wanted to find a job, but he was insistent. And it's very popular in our church that the woman stays home and takes care of her husband and her children and her house and all of that. And I just went along with it, and I just, you know, literally assumed that the way it was that day, we never fought, ever. And I just assumed that it was always going to be like that. He'd been married 4 times before, and I thought, wow, we've been together almost 20 years. I must be the one that's going to stick. So, yes, when I met him, actually, I was working 2 jobs in where I lived in Texas to support myself and my older boys. And he wanted me to just come move to California. He got me a condo, all of this. He said, you're not going to work. We're going to plan the wedding. And, you know, and so I gave everything up, my friends, everyone I knew in Texas, where I had grown up and spent most of my life. I moved to Southern California. It was he and I and my 2 boys, and we planned the wedding, and then immediately I was pregnant, so he had another reason for me not to try to find a job. And then once the baby came along, he didn't want me to work. He wanted me to stay home with our baby. And so I just, whatever, he had just converted me into the church. So whatever it was that he wanted or that he thought was best, I followed. And he made it clear that the Bible said where he goes, I would follow. And he was my priesthood leader in my home. You know, any problem that the kids or I had, we were to go to him with it. And, you know, he would just magically make everything all right. Just a few days ago was the 3rd year anniversary of when I walked up behind him, and he was on his computer, and he had his Chase bank account open, and he had it clicked on savings, and he had tens of thousands of dollars in his savings account. And I did a double take, and I said, I didn't know we had all that. And when he heard me behind him, he closed his screen, and he said, I don't know what you're talking about. Try to make me think I had been seeing things. The next day, he said, he called me from work, and he said, you haven't seen your granddaughter in a while. My little baby granddaughter was a year old. She lived in Canada with my son and his wife. And he said, why don't you go up there and visit them for a couple of weeks? And I said, well, it's January. We have school stuff. We have church things. And he says, no, don't worry about it. He says, I'll change my hours so I can take our daughter to school and to church. First of all, 6 o'clock every morning, she had to be at church, then at school at 7. And he said, she can go to her best friend's house after school and I'll pick her up. And I wanted to see that baby so bad, and then he said, why don't you take your little dog with you? And I thought that was kind of strange. It was January. She's a South Florida dog, so she wouldn't have known what to do in the snow. And he says, no. So we took her to the vet. We got, he spent hundreds of dollars getting her shots updated, her health certificate to cross the border, all of her grooming. We bought her a carrier for the airplane. And then I kept not wanting to take her for some reason. And I did. And 2 days after I saw the checking account, I landed in Toronto and got picked up by my kids and taken to their house. And I called him because he said, call me when you get there. And I called him and I said, I made it. Everything's okay. And he said, okay, bye. And he didn't say love you. And we had never ended any kind of conversation or walked out of a door without saying love you. So I called him right back and I said, David, you didn't say love you. And he said, we'll talk about it later. And I thought, wow. So a day or two after that, I got an email and he said, I closed your checking account, closed your credit cards, canceled the lease on the house, and filed for divorce and sole custody of our daughter. I canceled your return trip. Don't come back here. No one will meet you at the airport. And I was devastated. I mean, that was my life, my husband, my daughter, my house, my 2 dogs. I had one with me in Canada. The other one was still at home because it was more attached to my daughter than she was to me. And I didn't know what I was going to do. So I asked my son, can I stay with you for a while? And he said, sure, Mom. And they're young and struggling and had this baby, and I stayed as long as I could. And I knew that if I came back to Florida, I didn't have anything. So I asked my son to take me to a motel, and I waited until the day after my 2 youngest children's birthday and tried to kill myself. And for some reason, the maids came early to the motel room that morning. Then they brought the police and the ambulance, and they took me to the hospital. And I died 3 times in the emergency room. And then I woke up 5 days later from a coma that they didn't think I was going to come out of. And I was so mad because I was so close to, being done with everything. And here I was alive. I didn't have any chance to kill myself again because they locked me up for 40 days in the mental hospital. Finally, they thought I was getting well enough to come back home. And the American Embassy got involved and helped me get a bus ticket. But the only place they could send me was West Palm Beach because that's where my passport listed my home address. And I got here and nobody from my church would answer my calls or return my texts. I tried to call my husband because I thought, maybe he would help me. But we had already been divorced. I didn't know it at that time. But a month before that, the divorce had become final by default because I was in the hospital, a mental hospital, and I I didn't have the $5,000 retainer to hire a lawyer in West Palm. I called so many times after I got served, and nobody would help me without that retainer. And so I came here, and I was homeless on the street, and I slept in Green Acres, which was where I had lived, on a bench in front of a Publix, because it was light, and I figured I would be more or less safe. But I didn't have any access to services, and I heard about places in West Palm, so I came up here to where I could shower, and I ate 4 times a week. I'd lost over 100 pounds. My doctor asked me how I did that. I said, it's a homeless diet. You only eat Monday through Thursday if it's not a holiday. And you walk up to 12, 14 miles a day everywhere you're going to go. And you carry everything you own in a bag, you know. I went to the courthouse to look at my divorce papers to see if I had gotten anything. And when I got to the courthouse, the guard was looking through my bag, and she said, "Why do you have all this stuff?" And I said, "That's everything I own." And she said, "Why are you carrying it with you?" And I said, "Because I'm homeless. I have to take it." "You don't look homeless." And I said, what does homeless look like? You know, I'm a 54-year-old woman that dedicated my life to men and being a stay-at-home mom. And when I got pushed out of the airplane, I didn't have a parachute at all. So when I looked at the divorce agreement, the judge ordered that he sell my car for $2,000 and give the $2,000 to his lawyer for me to get at a later date, or whenever I guess I got back to Palm Beach. So I was very excited, but I'd been here a few months, and I called his lawyer, and his lawyer says, "Oh no, he still has the car. Do you want to go get it?" And I thought, oh my gosh, I can have my car. I can live in my car. And so I went down there to Green Acres. He had pushed my car out of his garage into his driveway. All the tires were flat, and it wouldn't start. And I was homeless. I had no money at all. And I had no recourse, no way to claim my car, to where at least, you know, I could have locked myself up at night somewhere. Yes, he lied on the financial declaration. He didn't mention anything about his savings account. He didn't mention anything about our 20-foot sailboat, and I have all the records of the sailboat, the sail and the insurance and everything in my email. And he just, for whatever reason, felt like he could just ignore that fact. And there was an attorney that was in our church and helped him through all of this, you know, walked him through everything to literally just bury me.
All right, guys. So you heard the account of this woman. I'm going to go ahead and cut to a quick commercial break, and then I'm going to get right back to you with my commentary.
Hey, what's going on? My name is CK, and I want to tell you about a great group called the Black Balance Network. The Black Balance Network is a cooperative of Black content creators that provide opinions and commentary. We're all about supporting the individual, collective, and community, as well as supporting businesses and ideas to the grassroots level. The group includes Business Minded Talk, D. Durrell, Love Wisdom, Faith, Ray Ray the Awareness Channel, and the Screen Learning Channel. Be sure to check us out, and we look forward to providing you with great content. So what are you waiting for? Why haven't you subscribed yet? You should be subscribing. Click the notification bell, share all of the video links, and share the channel. Please support us, and we look forward to providing you with great content. See you soon.
All right, guys, I'm back, and there is that wall back there. All right, y'all. So is the wall undefeated also for white women? Oh, D. Durrell, have a heart. D-Rail says, don't really feel sorry for her. Sorry. D-Rail, stop it. Stop it, D. All right, y'all. That was a sad story. It really is. And see, this is exactly why I tell women, you know, sometimes all money isn't good money. Okay. I would never, ever, ever tell my girls to rely solely on a man, because even if you think that you know somebody, sometimes the person that you think you know, you don't really know them. One day they might wake up and look at you and say, you know what? I'm tired of her. I'm on to the next. And men are finicky like that. They are. I mean, they'll look at you, especially if they think that you gained a little weight or you don't look the same, or there's just one little thing about you that they don't like, or they done ran out there and they saw something they like better and they think they can get it. So my whole thing is, ladies, always have your own bag. Don't get so caught up in his bag that you don't have your own bag. I always tell women this, always, because hey, when they put you out, they don't have no qualms about putting you out on the street. And I promise you, this white woman's story, I'm out here in Phoenix, I see a lot of old, homeless white women standing out here with their kids, white Hispanic women, homeless on the street with their kids. These men don't give no damn, okay? So while we sitting up here, big up in Brad, big up in Julio, big up in all these other groups of men, I'm telling you, take it from somebody that's out here and I'm watching how they treat their women. It is no better. It is no better. So if you think that you're going to hop the fence, if you think you're going to divest, if you think that you're going to expand your options, and there's nothing wrong with any of that. As a matter of fact, I tell women all the time that it's to our best interest to expand our options. But this is a cautionary tale and a cautionary story as to how you still need to vet. You still need to vet. You still need to vet. Don't let that white skin fool you, okay? Because underneath that white skin is some pretty niggardly behavior. Underneath that white skin is some pretty niggardly behavior. And they will do you worse than any black man ever would have. I'm telling you what I see and what I know out here. And this story that this woman told is not uncommon. There are so many white and Hispanic women going homeless with their children out here. They have a special program just out here in Phoenix for them. Phoenix is not a women's state, by the way. When you come out to Phoenix, you better be ready to roll up your sleeves and work, because there's hardly any welfare programs out here for women. There are hardly any programs for women and children out here. There's no housing out here for women and children. The women and the children out here rely solely on themselves and their men. This is a man state. I'm in a man state, okay? So, you know, I'm looking, if you're out here in Arizona. Oh, Taylor Scott, no, Taylor Scott is out here in Arizona. That's the reason why she said, yep. She said, yep. Taylor Scott know what I'm talking about. Taylor Scott, she said you on your own, and you absolutely right. If you a woman and you out here in Arizona, you better be making your coins for yourself. The little bitty social programs that they give you out here ain't even enough to sustain you. You got people living out here in Arizona getting food stamps, getting cash assistance, but they can't afford housing because they don't give you the housing assistance. You got people living in halfway homes, and sometimes they can't even get in the halfway homes because of the long waiting list. So you got people literally sleeping on the streets. And I'm seeing more and more women and children out here doing that. Yeah, their husbands, their boyfriends, significant others. This is a man state. They put them women out, okay? They put them out on the street. They don't care. But getting back to the topic is about, are they better than our men? I don't think so. Me personally, I would have to say the answer to that is emphatically no. There is no better. It's just the same shit. I'm just gonna curse. Same shit, different toilet. That's pretty much all it is. Basically, you're gonna get the same stuff, but you're getting it from their side of the tracks. Okay, he may look a little bit different, he may talk a little bit different, but he's still the same Pookie and Ray Ray, the same stuff. So no, the grass is not always greener on the other side. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It just isn't. And guess what? These white men, while we sitting up here tripping on JI's petition for financial abortion, these white men are working hard. I mean, they're actually working overtime to get a lot of these child support laws overturned. Okay. So I think that was what Cynthia was showing me over in Florida, where the white men were like rallied together and they were like trying to change the child support laws and all that type of stuff. Let me go ahead and share my screen, and you can just kind of see them. You know that they're something else. These guys are something else. Hold on. You can kind of hear, yeah, this right here, this video right here is moving. But hold on a second. Let me go and share my screen real quick. My tongue, look. Okay, so basically these are white men out here picketing for alimony reform. Just look at this, okay? Look at this. This is only 28 seconds. It ain't gonna hurt you. Look at it. Angry white men. All right. So now if you all sitting up here thinking that it's just our men that be tripping, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It is not our men that just be tripping, okay? Oh yeah, uppity. Oh yeah, it's scary. It goes down, okay? It goes down. And they had a rally like that out here in Arizona too for the alimony bill. These white men are angry about having to pay alimony for their wives, okay? They're angry about having to pay child support when the marriage is over. So these white men are out here. That's the reason why you hear so many of them killing their wives. D. Darrell said, the manosphere in white face and laugh. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. So, you know, this is the type of behavior that doesn't get exposed on a regular basis. So while they're sitting up here talking about the wall for Black women, there's a lot of white women standing over there at that wall too, y'all. There's a lot of white women at that wall. They men and threw them to the wall too. So don't feel bad, okay? The wall is undefeated for all women. Chef Disaster said, ain't that the truth? But it is. Now, look, guys, you know, I know what we experience here as Black people. We experience a lot of trauma. We experience a lot of dysfunction. But I thought that this topic that Cynthia brought up was pretty relevant and meaningful for our own Black families and relationships, so that we can stop constantly grading ourselves next to them. Okay, dysfunction goes on in all communities. Their marriage rates are going down. Their marriage rates are also going down. Okay, and this is documented. So yeah, when white women get the cold, Black women get pneumonia. Okay, so if their marriage rates are going down, it means it's going to be a hell of a lot tougher for us as well, because whatever happens to them is doubly bad for us as a minority. And we got to stop looking at them as, okay, this is the end all be all. We have to start setting our own trends. We've got to start breaking our own generational curses, and we got to stop using them as the standard, their beauty standards, everything. We've got to just stop, and stop beating up on our own people. What is Scream Learning saying? Scream, oh, okay. He's talking business. I'll take that down. That's BBN business. But what I'm going to do, because I went through my spiel, I'm 45 minutes in, I'm going to go ahead and drop this link down here into the chat. And if anybody has anything that they want to say on this topic, are white men better than black men when it comes to marriage and relationships? Like I said, there's plenty of examples in our group of black men not stepping up when they're supposed to. But then again, I have to also say there are plenty of examples in our group of black men who do step up and do what they're supposed to do. We can't always sit up here and make ourselves the worst example in every situation. That's not going to work, people. It's not going to work. What we need to be doing is we need to be saying that we are going to set different standards. We're going to set different boundaries. We're going to have a different code of conduct as people. White people, they don't have the best morals, if you haven't already noticed. They're going around here doing the most. Some of the worst habits that we as a group have picked up have come from that particular group. It has. And we sit up here and we put them up on a pedestal. Why do we do that? Why? We basically, we veered away from our own morals and values, and we embraced their immorality. This is their immorality. White men were the first deadbeat fathers. They're the first ones to go around leaving bastard children, a line of bastard children in their wake. They're the ones that taught us that. And we embraced it like fools. We did that. And then we as black women, we sit up here because our men is all we know. We wonder how come we can't be like Becky over there, married to Brad that treats her so well. She gets to sit at home and be a mom and raise her kids. But we don't know what's going through Becky's head, do we? We don't know if Brad really treating Becky right. We don't know if Becky is actually planning her escape. I noticed a lot of white women and a lot of white Hispanic women out here in Arizona, because that's where I'm at. These women are sitting up here in battered women's shelters, trying to get away from their Brad. So you guys tell me, is it better? Nah, I wouldn't say so. Oh, what's up, Cynthia? What's going on, sis?
Oh, Cynthia. I'm here. How you doing?
Mama Max? Mama Max in the house. All right, so let me go ahead. Sarah's full story. We're going to share that screen. There we go. Oh, Cynthia, you got to turn off YouTube.
Oh, I keep mashing stop and it keeps there. Okay.
All right. And also let's welcome Jen J to the stream. What's up, ladies? I love having a panel full of ladies. We have a topic ahead of us. So Cynthia, this was your topic that you sent to me. So I'm very curious to hear what you got to say on this.
My cable and my TV in my room messed up, so I've been watching a lot of YouTube lately. And I was seeing, the post about black women shouldn't wait for black men and stuff. And then I saw them saying, white men are providers and a lot of that. And I was like, no, they aren't. I'm not saying stick to black men, everybody find love where they find it. But what I'm saying is we got to stop having this paragon of white virtue, like they're providers, they're doing this, they're doing that. White men get a benefit for being seen as a provider. What white CEO gonna have his wife working? And even my husband told me one time he was working that they hired a white man over him, hired a white man with less experience and paid him $5 more an hour, saying that the man had a family. And my husband at the time, he had a family, but it's not seen like we're providers, but it seemed like white men. So white men get a lot of accolades for being seen as providers. At the same time, when they leave them women who done sat home for 20 years, who don't have no idea how to access resources and stuff, they are in worse position. I was at that rally in Tallahassee. And I had a white woman who lost her hearing from the domestic violence, and her husband was a high value man. I had one sitting up there swiping the EBT card with food stamps. And it gets to that level. She got a house, but she literally didn't have an income. I had one whose parents were taking care of her, and her children were on Medicaid. So we go through this whole thing, talk about what they do. When they leave their women, no women look if they leave with their life, but they definitely want them to leave destitute, and they definitely do not want to continue to provide for their kids. And so I just thought that should be put out there.
Okay, well, thank you so much for bringing this topic to the forefront, because it definitely needs to be discussed. And then also we have Jen J on the live stream. What's going on, Jen?
Thank you for having me on the live stream. I agree with what Cynthia was talking about, and also what you were talking about earlier. Perception is everything, and they have, they meaning white men, have the privilege of controlling the narrative. So if you control a narrative, you're obviously not going to put yourself in a poor light. So they have that benefit of having control of the narrative. And one other thing I want to add, and I'll keep it short, but one other thing I want to add is you got to think of the fact that some, and this isn't a specific type of woman per se or any specific race, but we also have to remember not everybody gets into these relationships for the right reasons. And if the person is getting into that relationship or that marriage for the sake of access, then they're going to perceive being with a white man is better because that white man has access just based solely on them being white. They get into spaces that being with another type of man would never get them into. So if that's ultimately why they're in that space, so that they can be invited to the certain events or because they can be in certain circles, they're going to have the perception that it's better because I get the privilege that he has because I'm with him. So that's where that perception is very skewed. But there's this idea that as long as you're adjacent or you're next to whiteness, that's better than not being, because you quote unquote benefit from the privileges that that white person has. That's the logic behind it.
Okay, and you bring up a very good point, Jen J. You know, what are some of the privileges that you ladies think that a lot of people think that they're going to benefit from just from being with a Brad? I'm going to let you go, Cynthia.
I don't know. I ain't never wanted to be with a Brad, but some of the people that I know who have crossed the line, they have to have gotten good men. But it wasn't for financial reasons because they both worked and everything. If they thinking that they're going to get the lifestyle of not have to work and this and that, I had a co-worker, correction officer. She was scared to leave that prison because she married this white guy and he was waiting in the parking lot on her. We had to walk out to the parking lot with her for her to get in her car for her to be able to leave. So, and she let him take $1 million life insurance policy out on her. I said, girl, is you crazy? You don't let no white man take no $1 million policy out on you. But some people think they're at house, 2 kids, a car, and a dog, and they getting a Stepford wife dream, and they don't know what them Stepford wives be going through in them homes.
Exactly. And Jen, what do you think are some of the benefits that a lot of women think that they're going to get with a Brad?
I'll speak from secondhand experience, meaning people that I know and have worked with. They're hoping that they get a cosign. And I mean that literally and figuratively. When you have the cosign of a white man to say, she's cool, or I like her, that holds weight for some people, more than a degree, more than your how much you earn, more than anything else. Having that quote unquote cosign. And so if that woman, and no names, But if that woman wants to get a higher position, if that person wants to get into certain spaces, it's easier if she's with Brad, because Brad already gets his word is worth more than anything that you as a Black woman could bring to the table. Brad likes you, so that means all the other white people like you. And that's the logic that goes behind it. That could be the difference between you getting a lower, a higher appraisal on your home, or a lower rate because Brad's there, or because Brad goes on your behalf. So that's what I mean. It depends on why that person's in that marriage, but it can be the difference between you getting that promotion just because Brad is quote unquote cool with you, just because he sees you in a certain light, or because you're married, or you share the same last name. And if that's why the woman's in that relationship, then that's going to carry a lot of weight. Now, is that why everybody gets in a relationship? No. But I've seen the difference between the women that are invited to certain events, and guess what happens at that event? They meet other people, they network, etc. They get invited, even if their name is whatever, but they're with Brad. So he offsets any kind of negativity or stereotypes that comes with being Black, just because she's with Brad. If she was with anybody else, even with an ounce of melanin, she probably wouldn't have been invited to that event.
Yeah. And see, and that's the level up also that a lot of women don't talk about, when they're dating with outside the race. They feel as if they're going to be opened up to so many different opportunities, places, and experiences that they couldn't get with a Tyrone. So you're absolutely right. They're going to be opened up to better neighborhoods, better schools for their children. They're going to have networking that they're not going to get in the Black community. So this is exactly what a lot of us think when we're getting with a Brad. And in a lot of cases, it probably is true, to be honest with you. That portion of it probably is true. But, also, like I said, with all money not being good money, you're with this Brad, but he's also he's a man. He's the same thing as what all these other Black men are. He could cheat on you the same way Tyrone cheats on you. He can pretty much, be physically and verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, the same way that we experience in our neighborhoods. He can be financially abusive, withholding money because you're completely dependent on him. And I've seen that a lot out here in Arizona with how white men and Hispanic men, especially Hispanic men, are very notorious for being financially abusive towards their women. So, all money isn't good money. I would say, ladies, make sure that while you're looking at his bag, make sure you got your own. Let me put Cynthia back into the stream. All right, Cynthia, you're back. So do you have anything additional to add, Cynthia?
Oh, if y'all think Black men done did some stuff to avoid child support, it ain't nothing compared to what some of them white men done, but they do it a little bit smarter. Sometimes they go and start nonprofits and say they volunteers, and then they get the access to the nonprofits vehicles and all kinds of things. So they duck and dodge the child support too, but some of them just do it a little bit differently and a little bit smarter. And I just, and that was all I wanted to add. And I'm gonna check out and just listen to everybody else.
All right. Thank you, Cynthia. Once again, great topic. And I appreciate you for bringing that to our attention. What's going on, Mella? I see everybody coming down there in the audience. So Jen, you said that you noticed from secondhand experience, so you've never dated interracially yourself then?
No.
Okay. Yeah, because I was wanting to see, I thought you had said that you didn't date interracially. Now I just started expanding my options since I'm out here in Phoenix. What I notice is I get approached more by white and Hispanic men than I do Black men out here, because majority of the Black men that come out here to the West Coast, where there's nothing but, a certain demographic of Black people, they're out here to talk to non-Black women. So they're out here talking to the non-Black women, and the white men and the Hispanic men, they're the ones approaching the Black women. I see a lot of Black women,
absolutely,
with non-Black men out here in Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
So, for
And
the guys that don't, it goes on, it goes down. It really does.
Yeah, and for me, it's not a I would never. It's just that I haven't. And similar experience, just being out here. I'm actually in Las Vegas, so not too far. Similar situation, and I do a lot of things related to tech. And most of the men there are either white or Indian, from India. Things like that are usually at those kind of events and in those circles. So I just say that to say, I see in the circles that I'm in, the work experiences, personal experiences, there's usually other reasons why that woman is with that man. And it's usually because of access. Not saying they don't love each other, not saying, they're not there for one another, but there's usually that element of if I'm with this person, I can move up. Whatever up means to me, I can move up and out of where I'm at currently if I'm with this person.
Absolutely. And I agree with you. The access, to be honest with you, isn't worth the abuse. And see, this is where Black women, we bring everywhere we go, because the same way everywhere Black men go, there they are. They don't change their attitudes and their habits. And it's the same thing that I notice with Black women. Wherever we go, there we are. We go into these new atmospheres with other people, and we bring our desperation with us. It's the desperation portion that I have with a lot of our women that kind of bothers me, because as soon as we see that we're in this environment, here we go kissing everybody's behind, and I have to say that some of the stuff that Black men say about us and how we act around Black men, I mean, not Black men, white men, how we act around white men, some of that stuff is a little true. And I'm looking at it from somebody that's living out here, and I see it firsthand. They say that Black women, we don't want to lose weight until we are, getting ready to date outside the race. I see a lot of Black women that moved out here to Phoenix, a lot of them that were overweight. All of a sudden, when they start getting with the brads and, hanging out with the, white women, and they see how the white women take care of themselves. They see how the white women are, in the gym, just, keeping up their bodies and everything like that. All of a sudden, it's not okay to be a size 14 when you're with Brad. So I do see, some differences. Have you ever noticed that? Where do you live, Jen?
I live in Las Vegas. I live in Las Vegas.
You're not that far.
Exactly.
Have you noticed?
I notice that all the time. I know exactly what you mean by that. And you bring up a good point where I think people miss that it's their mindset and it's what they're presenting that changes, but they attribute it to being, oh, that's because it's a white guy. No, it's because you're changing, that you're seeing things differently. And they attribute it to the wrong things. It was never an issue with Black or white. It was an issue with you. It was an issue with what you saw in the mirror, how you presented yourself, and what you thought of people. But instead, they try to look outwardly and say, oh, the white guys are really talking to me. No, it's because you put out a better presentation of self. You didn't do that. Exactly. You didn't care enough to do that when you were with a Black man. Now you're doing it and you're getting different results, but you're the cause and effect is not right. You're attributing it to, oh, that's because white men are this. No, it's because you put out a different product. And we all know you put out a different product, you're going to get different results. And people don't see that cause and effect. They just see, this is what I'm doing. This is how they're responding. No, it's because this is what you're doing. If you did that, if you attracted that energy from the Black man that you were trying to do now with the white man, you would see the same thing. So I think there's an issue of that cause and effect. You were attracting ain't shit, my bad for cursing, but you were attracting those ain't shit Black men because that's what you were putting out. It's not the other way around.
Exactly. Because see, if we had taken that same energy that we put into, and it's really not that we're trying to impress the white men, but because women, we want to look good. And I'm just going to let you know for other women, because I know I'm out here in Phoenix amongst all these different groups of women. And I notice myself comparing myself to these other women. And when I go on different places, it's a feeling that you get like, you know what, something's a little bit different about this situation. And so you find yourself, in competition with these other women because you don't want them to show you up. And that's what's really happening. But we're not really, how can I say, we're not communicating it properly towards one another. Black men think we're doing it for the white man, but actually it's a woman thing. When Black women get around other women, it's not necessarily what your body looks like or anything like that, but it's more like your hair, your nails, your clothes and stuff like that. But it's a little bit different with other races. It is your body, as well as your hair and your skin and your clothes. Everything has to be put together. So we're basically competing with these other women. But let me go ahead and add Zach to the stream. What's up, Zach?
Yeah, how you doing, Faith? See you doing a stream a little late. But thanks for having me. Going back to what you said, I actually think that Black men are better husbands and fathers over white men, and this is the reason why. Being a Black man who dated other races of women, they have told me, like personally, that Black men go over and beyond to do different things. Like as far as, like, for example, a Black man will accept a lot of things that other races of men won't. So the Black men have to work harder, to be honest. And this is included in relationships, jobs, school, anything. So yes, I would say the Black man is indeed a better husband and a better father than the white. I will say that.
I wouldn't say better. I would say that there is no better. That's the mentality that we got to get out of. There is no better. The same way that we have good Black men in our race that are good men, good fathers, good husbands, they have good men in their race. It's just that in our race, we tend to overlook the good in our men in our race, and we only see the bad.
Right.
So I don't disagree with you because I see it on both sides.
And you know what? That's true because, the world is full of people. I mean, of course it's true, but isn't that goes back to the culture of Black people in this country? You see what I'm saying? These things that, like, Black people have been taught these things. Black people are naturally humble people. We don't really bother nobody unless they bother us. That's just who we are. But this is part of the condition that we living under in America, unfortunately, and that's just what it is.
Yeah, that's true, Zach. Now, I do agree with you there. Jen, have you experienced good Black men in your life? Let's talk about the good Black men in our life. Did you experience any good Black men?
Yes, definitely. And the way I indicate that, and everybody has their, good is relative. What I loved about it is I didn't have to try. And I'm not saying that relationships are not hard work, but when you're just able to just be yourself and you have somebody that's not trying to change you, that to me is good. And I know that can come in any race or whatever, but for me, it happens to come from a Black man where it wasn't like, I didn't have to play up. I didn't have to act differently. I ran into that a lot. Like, they took how I was acting as like, oh, you're not being yourself. Just be real. I'm like, no, this is me. This is me all day. I'm chilled. I like video games. I'm a laid back person. No, just be you. And so when I found somebody who didn't try to question what I was trying to put out, this is me every day, it felt good. And that just, I don't know if that was because he was Black, but it happened to come from a Black man where it's not saying I have my own internal validation, but when someone outwardly validates you, you never forget that. And when it was like, you cool, just how you are. I know there's, everybody's out the club. I know everybody's doing this, but you know what? You cool. Yeah, we just sat here and watched the whole game together, ate some nachos. You ain't complain. I ain't complain. You cool. That for me just did it for me. So anybody that allows me to be myself and not trying to build a witch is what I call it. They find some potential and they like, oh, I can make you into such and such. When somebody just lets you be you, that's all I'm looking for.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? I would have to say that's a cop out.
How so?
because what you essentially saying is, say if you said you met a good black man, but what if a good black man have standards and he's a leader, and he give you examples of different things to do in your life, not changing you but bettering your mentality. Like for instance, like I'm one of those type of guys. Like I've been with women and they felt like I was trying to change them when really I was trying to really enlighten them. I guess I mean I don't know because women change anyway. But so you say he was a good black man, but what if he said, listen, you shouldn't be doing this brainwashing nigga shit. You know Christmas is brainwashing. Why you celebrate it? If you still celebrate it, it shows that you really are brainwashed. To be honest, y'all know damn well Christmas is stupid. Like, and people still celebrate it. That's the type of man I am. So if I get with a woman, I tell her I don't eat pork. You're not gonna eat it if you're dealing with me. I don't celebrate Christmas. You're not gonna do it if you're dealing with me. And most black women have a problem with that, literally.
But you're talking about, and I actually agree with you 1000%. It's a matter of compromise.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm talking about more of mindset, and I probably didn't present my argument good, but you're talking about behaviors. I'm talking about more so mindset. There's certain characteristics and personality traits and etc. that are just innate. And I just use the example of I prefer to stay in, have a nice dinner at home. But you have some people that are more, let's say, extroverted and like being out all the time and socializing. I'm never going to become that person. And so I would not yoke myself with somebody who has to be out all the time and be everywhere and anywhere and in their face and want to be famous, etc.
Yeah,
I would never
agree.
yoke myself with that. But what you're talking about, different behaviors, that's something we're going to talk about, because I guarantee you once we talk about it and lay it out on the table, I'm going to kind of look at it like, oh, okay, I see where you're coming from. As long as you're willing to work with me and it's a partnership and we can find that common ground, great. But if I feel like if I'm just tone deaf and I don't really care what you comment with, this is what I do, we don't need to be together. That's
exactly. You know what? That's the issue I'm running into. I just made 30 and I'm in a situationship with 3 different women, and I'm really.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Zach! You just...
Thank y'all.
Happy birthday.
I'm moving up a little bit. I'm all right, but I'm in a situationship that I call it. Like, 3 different women, 3 different texts, spending time with 3 different people, and I'm realizing me as a man, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Like, okay, I have these standards. I call myself this quote unquote good guy, even though I have a crazy side to me where I feel like, women should just understand men, but that's not realistic. So, and I'm learning that now. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, I was the main person on all these panels. F these black women, yada yada, they full of shit, yada yada. But I realized, like, it's deeper than that, man. You meet people for who they are. So I don't know, man. Maybe things is different. I mean, I think it's a Chicago
sometimes
thing.
you have to meet people where they at, and what's for you is for you. If they're not for you, then you just have to walk away. So you're growing, you're learning. But let me go ahead and welcome Chef Disaster to the panel. What's going on, Chef?
Hey, how you doing, Faith? What's going on to the panel? All right. This is a great.
Say on this topic, Chef. I know you got a lot to share.
It's a great topic, Faith, as usual. The thing about this topic is people seem to get their narrative from their feelings instead of the facts, and to get the answer or the solution for this topic is you have to look at the end product. So you have to start with the top of each race. So a good black man and a good white man. And then the end product would be, if they got a divorce, their wife, the condition of the wife that she's left in when she's gone, and the condition of the children. What happens to the product once the man is out of the house? And that will tell you what kind of man was in that household. So it would definitely have to be a case-by-case basis using the numbers to get a true answer. Do they make better husbands? But the eye test alone will tell you that the dominant society does not make a better husband based off of what society has showed us, where who's filling up, which children typically are filling up the mental health things and stuff like that. I mean, our children are filling up the jails, but they get a little bit of help with that. But what about when the parent totally doesn't raise their children, has no hands-on skill? The child may be financially all right, but mentally unstable. That's not in the Black community. We are financially, doomed, but mentally ready for whatever.
Yep, I agree, brother.
You're absolutely right. There was an article that I had downloaded. I don't even know if I have it or not, but it spoke to the same thing where they were saying that it's not necessarily the single mother in the Black community that are pretty much destroying our children, but basically dysfunctional households, period. And when they put out the study, they noticed that single mothers who tend to be more educated and live in upper, echelon communities, their children did just as well as children who were born in two-parent households in the same situation. So it's basically how can I say, an environmental thing. If the children are not in a good, stable environment, it doesn't matter whether or not there are two parents there or not. If the environment is not stable, if it's not sound, then that child is not going to flourish, whether there's two parents there or not. So I like that article because the title of that article was Single Mothers Are Not the Problem. And it touched on a lot of statistics that backed up what the researcher was saying. And I would like to pull that article up. I said I was going to do a show on that article. I think it was SKC. I was over on D Rail's panel, and I was bringing that to his attention. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It has nothing to do with that at all.
Yeah, but I got some pushback for you, Faith.
Go ahead, Zach.
The thing is, of course, single motherhood, it really do affect the community and the outcomes of children. Now, I get what you're saying as far as the article, but we all know when a man and a woman is in the house, they have a balance, and the children can see a good example of relationships. This is proven. This is fact. So just because a mother is single and educated, that has nothing to do with a young boy coming from 10 years old to 16 years old, and he don't know how to develop mentally as a man because he didn't have that balance. You see what I'm saying? But see, okay, the thing.
Well, Zach, let me just go ahead and answer you. Okay. Now, see, imagine, because I have friends who are caseworkers that work with Department of Children and Family Services. Okay. Now you have a single mother, okay, in a household where the household is stable, the children have food, it's clean, okay, the kids are getting their homework done. I mean, everything that needs to be done is done in this household. Then you have another household where the father is beating on the mother is neglecting the children got cigarette burns all up and down their bodies, they're hungry, they're being neglected. Which household is the better household, Zach?
Man, it's obvious. Of course, the household was order, but see, that's extreme. That's not most Black people. Most Black people know goddamn well they're going to go to jail. You burn your damn kids. Don't feed your kids. We know that. Black people are not stupid. We have realized this for years. That's why most Black people are decent people. It's just that we have this egotistic attitude where we feel like we know every goddamn thing. Nobody can tell us nothing. So that's not true about all Black people. Now, in an extreme case, of course, that single mother who got the better environment, that will work because it's more peaceful, it's clean, it's just more humble. But see, the thing is, at the end of the day, we all know that.
But to the point that I'm making, not to cut you off, Zach, the point that I'm making is that just because there's a single mother home does not mean that home is automatically a bad environment for the children. The same way that you have two-parent homes that are toxic, you also have single mother homes that are toxic. So you can't say that all of these are the same. What this study has done, what other studies have not done, is rather than look at the single mother and then that in and of itself, and saying that this is the problem with the Black community, they started looking at the environment and separating the environment from the marital status. And when they did that, they began to see that there are single mother households, and not just in Black communities, but also in every community where the women are flourishing with the children and raising them on their own. So when you take the dysfunction out of the household, no matter who's at the head, when the dysfunction is gone, that's when the children are thriving. And let me go ahead and welcome Cynthia back into the stream. What's up, Cynthia?
It is a misconception that Black people don't have them type of problems. My mama was a child abuse investigator, and she saw horrific things committed by Black people. So if we sit here and say, oh, ain't no Black person gonna burn their kids because they know they're gonna go to jail, that's not true. So if we're gonna have a discussion, we have to have a discussion in truth, and not like we say, oh, Black daddies don't screw their daughters. Ain't no molestation.
That is extreme. That is not true about Black men.
Okay, child abuse. My mama was a child abuse investigator.
Okay, then I understand it, but so it goes back to what Faith said.
It does. So, but we cannot have.
You're correct. I agree with you, but I'm saying that's extreme. Most Black people know better. That's a fact.
No, it's not a fact.
Okay, now Jen J, you agreed with Zach. What do you have to say on it?
Yeah, I agree in the sense that it's apples to oranges. If you were to flip those same examples around and said, well, what if you have a non-dysfunctional two-parent household? Would that household be better than a single parent that's not dysfunctional? So, I mean, we could go through all those scenarios. If you're going to use the worst case scenario versus the best case single parent scenario, the single parent scenario is always going to win. But if you flip that around and say, well, what if there's a mother and a father and the household is quote unquote non-dysfunctional, then you're going to argue that, okay, that household would be better. You have two parents, et cetera, et cetera. So I just think that it's apples to oranges. The point is that we know dysfunction in any form is detrimental to a child, period, whatever the source. And I think what happens is in a single, and Lord, don't have these people in the chat come after me. The problem with a single parent home is that it leaves the child more vulnerable to outside sources because there's only one adult at the helm. It's just like with driving cross country. Most people would prefer to have a passenger if given the option, just in case you get tired, just in case, you just want to take a break. You don't have to stop. The other person can drive. So it makes the person, just even if the parent is on point, got their stuff together, if they fall just a little bit, they have no safety net. They have nobody to catch them. I'm not saying they don't have aunties, and we can use all those different scenarios. Oh, they have a whole family, extended family. Let's just keep this scenario. They have nobody to depend on. And so when they fall, the kids fall. And that's the worst thing. There's a single mom right now, educated, everything, who just got laid off. Coronavirus got them. They don't have anybody to depend on. So that's what it's really talking about, is by having the idea behind a two-parent household is that partnership and that safety net that each other can provide. In theory, that does not mean the household is perfect and everybody's skipping and hopping. Exactly. All it means is that you have that other half to help support one another so that those things don't occur. And historically, we've seen that. We can go back to the 1940s and 50s where home ownership was highest for Black families. I don't think that's a coincidence. It doesn't mean that back then was better. It just means they had marriages in a two-parent household to support one another.
Look, and not to cut you off, Jen, but look, you're absolutely correct. And Black people have seen this just from the past. Look at the record of Black people going through their condition in this country. In the 40s, 50s, 60s, our granddaddies was married, had houses, and left houses to everybody. We don't see that now because everybody more individualistic about shit. And they think, oh, I'm gonna just get mine. I'm doing me. You get yours. You do you. That's cool. But you have to understand, you can't rise above the condition of your people. If the masses of your people are at the bottom, even if it's a few Michael Jordans, a few Oprahs, a few Obamas, whatever you want to call it, that don't stop the reality of the masses of your people. Therefore, you can't organize like Arabs, Chinese, white people, Mexicans. This is what it was. You see, that's all it is. Like a lot of black people ain't stupid. Some of the most craziest like people I ever met who really know shit, smart, got good expertise and all type of shit is black people. But they have this problem where they think they know everything and they so arrogant and they think they smart, but they can't be humble and listen. That's the problem.
I mean, it's all on that single parent. They slip one time, and that's it.
Let me go ahead and get full circle in here. What's up, full circle?
What's going on, Faith? How you doing?
I'm doing great. I see you see you down there. What do you have to say about the topic?
Yeah, I'm just in the cut. I'm gonna speak to Zach on this one, just this particular part. Just because we know better, Faith, or pretty much to you, Zach, just because we know better doesn't always mean that we do better. You get what I'm saying? We know better.
That's true.
Doesn't always mean that that we're doing better. We know a lot of things. It's just that, Faith, we've been seen as a loving people, and I guess we can go back, and I'm not doing the Bible thumping type of thing right now, but we've been seen and known through the churches as a loving people or forgiving people. And at the same time, we're on the end of the stick, while others have been able to be, according to your topic, they're better. What they do is better. Everything about them is better. And it's like a smoke screen, Faith. And when it comes to a comparison, I believe there's no difference from black men to non-black men. But then that's going back to you, Zach. So I can't really say like better, We know a lot of things. That goes, I see D. Durrell is in the chat. Shout out to him. White people have mental issues as well as black people have mental issues. Black men, black women, white men, and white women. We all have mental issues. The messed up part about it is that when we go into these relationships and we're in these particular situations, we carry that to the next relationship. And I get where you're coming from, Faith. You're now in Arizona, to where it's crazy. And men go through it too, where it's like, okay, so we gotta level up, because we're in a different place. No different, Faith. So don't even think that it's any different from the black men. Black men are like, look, we gotta keep ourselves in shape. And I know that's the topic, the content on different channels. Black women, lose your weight, get rid of your wigs, your weaves, Black men know doggone well. You
can't say that, brother.
No, but I'm just saying, no, I'm not doing a comparison. Yeah, I get that, but I'm just saying it, in a cool tone and consciously to say, look, black men are no different. We have to keep ourselves in shape. We have to have ourselves toned. We have to have ourselves looking good. No matter if we're trying to be out there on the market, on the dating scene or not. Black men and black women, we both have to do it. Brad's got to do it too. So this whole thing about one is better than the other, that's not true when it comes to the kids and the children. And I'm gonna jump on this, Faith, when that lady that you brought on the video, and I know it was thrown out there like, that sucks to be her, that's her fault. I look at it like this. Someone's brought this up. I don't know if it was Jen. It's usually on the business tip. It's usually on some other, it's not even based on love, Faith and Jen. It's not even based on that. It's on something else. Going into it, she even mentioned it. He made $14,000 a month. So she got pretty much, Faith, comfortable. She got real comfortable. She had no nest egg. She had nothing. Pretty much sounding like a stay-at-home mom. And now look at what happened. And then they talk about that where women hit the wall. That's another thing, because we didn't get a chance to see what she looked like. We don't know what he looks like. But pretty much he was pretty much stacking up, getting prepared all along, because he knew what was about to come. And a lot of these women end up like that, which is sad, Faith. And I'm going to let it go. Whoever else wants to jump in. These relationships, a lot of kids are taken into account. It's not just the black men, with the child support and having all these babies. White men do it too.
No,
and when they leave, they all do it.
Bro.
That's what I'm saying, Zach. But that's what I said. There's no better. I'm just going off of what they said. Better? No. They all do it. These men set it up, have their own separate accounts, have everything put in place. And when they're ready to duck and turn and roll out, they are gone. So it ain't just the whole, putting on the black men Faith. We do. They do it too. I don't care. The Brads, the Brad Pitts, the Gonzaleses, like you said, Zach, the Jose's, they do it. I don't know about the Asians, but pretty much, they do it. So
They
that
do
better?
it, but
No.
it just don't get talked about as much.
Exactly.
We air out all our dysfunction. They just
We
don't
sure
air
do.
out their dysfunction.
We
That's the
sure
only
do.
difference.
And like I said, Faith, when they do their thing, when it comes to the mental part of it, they go as if like no big deal until it gets really grimy and dirty. You would never know it. You would never know when Sue, or I'm gonna have fun with this, the Sharon, they walking around holding Brad's hand as if like everything's okay. Little Johnny, little Carol, and all that. It's like a happy family from what they portray to people, from the commercials to the media. Deep down inside, even at the workplaces, Jen just mentioned, she said tech in Las Vegas. You got those same Karens that'll hold it, bottle it up inside. And the only person they have is, if they don't have themselves, they might have another Karen that's similar, that's even feeding them the wrong information. But while they're doing okay, it's no different from the Black families. While they're doing okay, they like, wow, I'm sorry, because me and Tom, we're doing great. I'm sorry to hear about that. But listen to what you said, in your video, Faith. This person in the church, had his backup. He had an attorney. He had everything he had. So it's no different from us. So like I said, the comparison, there is no difference. It's both the same. So to put them on a pedestal, I'll be danged if I even myself even look at them as if like, yeah, they're this and they're that. No, you're not. You're no different from us.
Listen, full circle. Let me respond to you real quick, brother, not to cut you off. You absolutely correct, because like, I don't know what is this sick obsession that Black people have with white people. I see it. When I'm around white folks, one, I got them in my family. Two, I work with them. I done went to school with them. White folks, they know what Negroes to act around. Trust me, I have seen this. They would never play this old trying to be indirect, trying to insult me and use racial tactics. They know better, like, from what I see when I be around white people. But that's just me. It's different.
Hey, but I'm gonna say this, Zach, and Zach, I'm gonna jump in on this. And Faith, this is towards you. Like, you came in on the channel, right? You came in to start your show. Love your show. And don't take this in the wrong way. When you came in, I was like, is that Faith? In a good way, in a loving way. I was like, Faith, but I mean that in the most respectful way. So when wait, hold on, Zach. When you came in, when you said, I got you blushing. When you came in like that, I was sitting back and I was in my kitchen in the island, on my island, just working on some things, and had the laptop open and stuff. And I was like, the specs is all right. Let me adjust it. You can't adjust it, but I guess you can on your laptop. I said, that is Faith. But got yourself put together, got the background, got everything laid out. And I said, you know what? Now we definitely got a show. But I'm saying that to commend you, to be like, you out there in Arizona, you doing what you got to do, and got all my blessings. But you looking good. You're looking good. And that goes to tell you, no. But just to let you know, you're looking great. You're looking great. That goes to tell you and goes to show you that, look, from yourself to even Black men, we both in this race. You know what I mean? We want the best for each other. But I'm never, not that you were doing it, Faith, I'm never going to put them on a pedestal to make it seem like they're better. Not the Black men, not the white men or the white women, because they are no different. We just doing what we got to do, Faith. And I get you. You got a great career, got your stuff looking good. Keep the faith. You give me faith. Keep the faith. You stay on that course. You're on a good journey. You're looking good. I had to throw that in there, so I'm not throwing shots. I just said because that's what's up. You know what I'm saying, Zach? That's what's up. So I'm doing that.
I feel you for a second, but listen. Faith. Let me address Ricky B. Super chat or whatever. Message. Whatever. Anyway, she said that white women get some out of the deal when white men want to leave. Whenever their husbands want to leave. Look, this is the thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that.
Right. It's not that Black women don't get nothing, because, of course, trust me. It's too many cases where Black men would tell you, I done lost my house, job, kids, money, car, all type of shit. Oh, you're gonna get some out of a Black man. It's just who you picking. But white women don't really get nothing. See, one thing about white men, because I got them in my family, and they're like, I go through this. I know the triggering questions to test white people to see where their mentality at. Trust me, I got them in my family. A lot of white men, they'll leave their white wife just because she's spending money and just because she had an account. Literally. You know what I mean? And a lot of white men is different. They not like Black men be laid back, like, all right, whatever. You know, the kids need it. You know, well, you can have that. I'll pay you that. But a lot of these white men fight they women tooth and nail, literally, before they lose any goddamn thing. When they lose and they
You're
jumping
right.
off of buildings and killing themselves, that's because they really lost something. That's one thing about black men and white men, from what I've seen. Now, I don't know the whole world, but that's just what I've seen that.
Right. And they were a product
Now, you know
of
what?
white parenting themselves.
I want to turn this discussion around just a little bit real quick, because we talked about whether or not the white man was the better husband or partner than the black man. But now let's flip it. Is the white woman the better wife or partner than the black woman?
Well, see, it's a flip side to that. Let me go and jump back there. Because I've been dating interracially for for the last 3 years after my baby mama, after black children, being with a black woman, living with her. I paid the bills. Guess what? I had to leave. Slept in my car for a week. Got a room. Had to get an apartment that I really couldn't even afford because I was saving my money. But anyway, all of that. That's why I'm in the manosphere. You see what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I wouldn't say that white women are better than black women because one, black women can understand black men, but see the whole dynamic with black women and black men, we have a power struggle issue. Some black women feel like they better than you black men, and we know that. We can tell how you talk. We can tell the shit that you interested in. We can tell about the music you listen to. We can tell how your family act. You see? Because of that, that creates a power struggle. Because a lot of black women feel like, yeah, he this, he that, and some of y'all will date us, y'all will sleep with us, some of y'all will be with us for months, years, whatever. But in the back of your mind, you really feel like this nigga really ain't this, and that. You might not even call him a nigga. You might say he probably a liar. You know what? He probably will cheat. I wouldn't put it past him. Because of that, that creates an issue. You see what I'm saying? I went through that. That's what I've seen.
I'll go next. I'll go next. Oh, Jen, you want to go? I'm sorry.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Faith, what Zach just said, he just described my whole dating career. He just described my whole dating career. And I'm just going to be real quick. When I made that comment earlier about sometimes I encounter black men that are like, just be you. Just, that's what they're talking about. They're dating me expecting everything he just said. And when I don't present that or give that, without saying it, they're implying you're kind of acting a little bit like a white girl. They don't say it, but everything he just said, that just explained why I'm not in a relationship right now. Is because that's what they're looking for, and when I don't present that, they take it as, oh, you being fake. Just be you.
You wasn't equally yoked. All black folks heard that term, haven't they? That's
right.
All.
But it's so funny how you said that. They expect me to be about self, and you can't tell me what to do. And when I don't present that, they're like, "Oh, you're just acting like you just be you." And I'm like, "That's not how I am."
Can I say something?
It's a typical stereotypical view of black men.
Yeah, I want to go to some of the people I haven't heard from in a while. Chef Disaster, what do you think? Are white women better partners and wives?
No, absolutely not. Only because there's a lot of dysfunction in the household that I've seen. I'm gonna base it off of most of the time when I go over my friend's house. When you go to the house and you're there and you're playing and you're chilling, you hear the children when the father's not around talking bad to the mother, talking back, doing whatever they want to do, and I always look at that as that saying a lot about the household, about how the woman runs the house. Now, when you go to a black person's house, you will probably rarely hear a black child tell his mother what they're not going to do. They're not going to come inside. They run all over those women. So a child coming from me, from this loin, will not be able to be raised by a white woman who acts like that.
That's an interesting point, brother.
Hey, Faith, can I jump in? I like that. I'm gonna say this.
I think Cynthia wanted to say something. Go ahead, Cynthia.
I'm gonna address Zach. Zach, y'all should give black women some props, because that thing you talked about having to sleep in your car, and that as a single mother of 4 kids, I have never had to sleep in a car. My lights have never been off. They have never missed a meal. They have never not had school closed, regardless if me and the dad work together.
There's nothing wrong with that, sister.
They never
There's nothing
missed
wrong with that.
So what I'm saying is, give Black women some props.
Yeah,
because
but see,
Black women are holding it down. A lot of us are holding it down. So our children don't see those things with the dad or without a dad. And if we could do it with kids, we do that. You ain't had nobody but yourself, and you were sleeping in the car. So please give Black women
I did
some
do that, but I did it off my pride, though. I did it because I don't want to be around this bitch. She pissing me off. I ain't gonna cuss. I'm not gonna cuss.
I took a white woman. I took a white woman running from domestic violence from Louisiana in my house with her 3 kids. So please, her 3 next kids. Like, so please give Black women some props.
Listen, Cynthia. I agree with you, sister. Relax. Just a conversation. Chill out. Anyway, I'm not saying that white women are better. Yes, I've dated interracially. I'm still doing it now. Do I have Black women? Yes, but I mean, other races of women is kind of different. It's not like they better. Of course they not, because Black women understand the Black man struggle. Period. Because we look alike as far as skin and just the environment we grow up in. But at the same time, from my experience, a lot of them they just ain't. They be like, "Oh, this nigga disrespectful. He this and that." But I don't even have a record. Like I don't know. But I'm not saying white women is better, but I'm saying it's different as far as Black men experience, and that comes from the condition of being in America, the history that Black people got. People lie about, oh, Black men got this fascination of a white woman. That's not true. The white women really want the Black man, but Black women act like they don't know that. Y'all see these white women all over some of your best Black men that you could have locked down. You see? And
but can we be honest when you're done, Zach? I just want to be honest on something that you just said.
Go ahead.
I just gotta say this. All right, so let's get it in. Let's get it in, Faith. Shout out to the panel. I have to say that before I even get started once again. These white women, as far as putting them on props and if there's any difference, Faith, there's no difference between the white women and the Black women. I'm going to say this. There's white women that have been around Black women. They call them, I think, excuse my language, and I know BMT is in the house, Black beep white women, meaning white women acting like they're Black. So they're white blank Black women, but like I said, white women acting as if they're Black. I can't say the word because I'm not going to disrespect your panel. There's white women that have been around Black women, and they take on the same attitudes, same traits, wanted to act just like the Black women just to get that Black man or Tyrone. When these white women, and I'm going to say it, and anybody can get mad, they can get mad. I don't have an issue with that. Some of these white women that are picking these Tyrones, to them, to the rest of the world, they're the bottom of the shelf Black men, low tiers. Not always the case, but they usually are. You got to look at some of the white women, and it's a fact. They're not coming out like Christy Brinkley. You get what I'm saying? They're not coming out like so-and-so at the top, whatever you want to call, of white women. Usually, and I must say it, some of them, Faith, are trailer trash. And that's just straight up. They are. So while some of the Black women are being put down, some of the white women too, they're no different. So to put them up on the pedestal, they're no different. The attitudes, the children, there's Black kids that got attitudes that be bad. And the white kids be bad and disrespectful too. Disrespectful to the moms. And they be sitting there trying to figure out, why is someone so disrespectful? Yeah, it goes a long way. So like you said, going on that flip, how you flipped it, that was nice, Faith. They are no different. And to put them on the pedestal, you just got to go out there. You've seen it, Faith. You're in Arizona, Jen, Las Vegas. You look around and look at the interracial couples, or are they looking better? Just look at that man, depending on if he's in the gym, got himself in shape 9 times out of 10, and nothing against those who love to drink beer drinkers, smokers. Their health is just as bad. Look at the ones that they rolling with. Look at the Beckys that they with. The blind leading the blind, Faith. Neither one is encouraging each other. And I'm not going to throw them out there, but I am. The Marias, they up at Planet Fitness. I know y'all done seen that. The Hectors, they sometimes there, but the Marias, they in it to win it. But they ain't looking for Tyrones. They doing their own thing. So
hold on. Full circle. Let me break this down real quick. I get where you're coming from, and it made a lot of sense. That's true to a certain extent. See, this is the thing. I think it's a regional thing based upon the environment. I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Because Chicago is different from Philly, it's different from Harlem, it's different from Texas. Same thing. Like it's completely different. I think it's about the area because where I'm at, to be completely honest, you got a lot of black men, especially in Chicago, literally meeting these white girls. These girls come from good backgrounds, paying these niggas rent, buying them cars, giving them money. The reason why I say that is because of this. If you call them bottom of the bill, because some of these guys got jobs, finished college, every dude that I kick it with, they gotta have skill. Like I've never been to college, but I mean I just know
So,
three
so
different
Zach,
skills, so I'm good.
it's going back to Faith, just cutting in. It goes back to Faith's question, going off of your example in Chicago. Does that, from what you've seen with your own eyes, does that make Becky better? Even
No,
with
it
these,
don't. But then why? But
okay,
see, we have to add a
okay.
caveat and really turn up and really piss black women off if you down with it.
Well,
We have to. I'm not gonna disrespect black women. I'm just gonna make a point. We have to talk about how black women look at black men, especially when they with you. Period. They running their damn mouth. They nosy. They talk too damn much. Telling your business, disrespecting you, spending your money, doing anything, and
But
then
you do
giving
realize
you their
Becky's
ass
do
to
that
kiss. So
too,
what are we
right?
talking about as men?
I know, I get you, but you do realize Becky's do that too, right? They snoop
Of
around,
course
they
they
talk to their
do.
white girlfriends, they do the
I'm
same
not.
thing.
No, Becky's ain't fuck white women. I'm just saying that black women, when they deal with other races of women, they more open minded and they more laid back. Like, okay, I've been tested to the limit. Man, a black woman will test the fuck out you. By the time you meet other races of women, they wouldn't know what to do with you because of how black women, how
It
you deal
goes
with
back
black
to that,
women.
Zach.
Like
Are you saying
women,
yourself that they're better than the black
No,
woman?
they're
Because
not.
you given
No,
that.
I
can
say
I
they're different. I say
Oh,
they're
I'm
can I
different.
sorry.
get in?
It's a
Can I
Oh, I'm
get
different
in?
sorry,
experience.
Zach.
That's all I'm
Black
saying. For a
women,
circle.
can I get
A
in?
different
Black
experience
women,
for a circle. That's all I'm saying. White women are not better because I still deal with
Exactly,
black women.
Zach.
can I say
Zach.
something? Black women will match your same energy. So
Exactly,
we're not
Cynthia.
gonna be, hello? Yeah, we're gonna match your same energy. So the way that you come at me and talk to me is what you're gonna get back.
Yeah,
So
but you want a black man
so
anyway. I can hear it in your
if
voice.
you're constantly
That's who you
engaged
want.
in those type of dynamics, you have to ask what's the common denominator. And I'm gonna give a shout out to Juan. I had my friend, her dad was Hispanic, well, her stepdad, he married her white mama. He had kept his family intact. They retired. Now he had a whole family over in Blacktown. So sometimes, we always, like I said, put these others on pedestals, and I'm not gonna say
Exactly.
yeah or there. Whatever. His wife's still taken care of. They're still together now. But he had a whole family over there in Blacktown too. So I'm not gonna uplift no other race above mine. We all
Man,
have
fuck white
functioning.
women. Y'all getting
All
stuck
have
on that
dysfunction.
triggering type. Come
But
on, man.
I'm
Like
going
we
to
No, but
all
you
know
tell
know
that.
what? No,
you
Zach, but it wasn't a
again
trigger.
that
It was just going
your
back to the title of
energy
it.
is combative. Your energy is combative. And you're
Wow.
the only one on this panel that have used curse words. Nobody has
So
said
I
anything
say
bad
that a little
about
bit, but
black
not
men.
really that bad.
Actually,
But
it is a big issue
oh,
because they've been asking people to refrain from cursing because they want to monetize these videos for
no.
their
That was on
channel.
the other
So
panel,
they have
and I
Yeah,
asked,
said I
that's
but
right.
apologize. But
nobody
Can you
has
please
spoken
not curse
and
on the
came
video
negative
because I
at
can't
black
get
men. We're
all
monetization.
right,
talking different.
okay. My
And
bad.
as
I
a matter of
apologize. I'm
fact,
gonna be
this
quiet.
whole topic was that we need to stop idolizing white men as the standard and judging our black men against it. That was the whole topic. So it was never a topic of negativity about black men. We all have areas within our community that we need to address, and calling out something for us to have a discussion to bring solutions is what we have to do. But we cannot progress past this if we talk about black women loud, we'll push you to your mics, we'll do this, where they do that. And that's your energy. Ain't nobody came like that towards you, but you
Hey,
coming like
Cynthia.
that, trying to trigger
Yeah,
others.
That's
Cynthia,
not
but
the
this is
point.
where we mess up at too. Cynthia, check
No,
this
this
out.
go. Hold on,
If
wait.
we're
I'm gonna be quiet
okay,
for
go
a
ahead,
second. I
Zach.
don't mean to cut you off, brother.
Go ahead, man.
I'm gonna be quiet, but I'm gonna say this. That's why the manosphere is right. When a man talk like me, now you offended. Now you so personal. Wow, you've seen worse.
Mutual
You would
respect.
have never said that to that nigga, would you? Come
Mutual
on, man. Y'all
respect.
gotta
Talk
change
to
our
me like I
mentality.
talk to you. Talk to me like I talk to you.
Yeah,
Mutual
whatever. I don't
respect.
believe
I
none of
haven't
that.
been disrespectful
I'm
towards
quiet.
you But when you're talking about them
I'm
black
not
women,
disrespectful.
you're
I've
talking
never
about me.
disrespected you, but you're not going to tell me how to be a man. I speak
You're the
with
only one on
conviction.
this panel
I speak
cursing.
enthusiastically. I don't be timid and act like fuck
Exercise
that. I'm not doing that.
self-restraint and refrain from the cursing.
Okay, now I'm aggressive.
Because we're not talking about black men. We're not talking.
Hey, Zach, you do realize it's crazy when you got to go back and forth with a black woman. You get what I'm saying? I know you see that, right? Because you steady going with it. I'm not gonna knock you, but that it says a lot about a one's character. I'm just
I don't do that. I don't do
but
that
that's
at
what
all.
you're doing right now.
So
For the last couple of minutes, you're going right back and forth.
For black men to talk that way about black women, and we're not supposed to say that.
To look out for you as black men, that's what we're being judged on.
I'm going to stop right now, but I just want to hear it's okay for black men to talk that way about black women, and black women are supposed to be quiet. And if we don't say nothing, your talk is going to keep escalating because I hear it. But we're supposed to sit here and not say, please don't disrespect me. I'm not disrespecting you. Please talk to me like the way I'm talking to you. That's disrespectful. That's going back and forth. Really?
Right. I ask that everybody have the same type of respect for each other that you want shown towards yourself. There's no higher gender or anything over here on this channel. Everybody gets the same type of respect. So if you want to respect you, you're going to respect them over here.
And Faith, I'm going to say this. This goes back to Zach. Just because you know better doesn't mean you're going to do better. Hey, did you catch that? Now, you know better doesn't mean you're going to do better. So you didn't really do better. You're going to be all right, though. But I just had to throw that in there. You know better.
Woman. I'm not going to do that. Man. I mean, I might talk a little heavy, but I ain't going to really go that far. I got you.
But we just got to do better. You know what I mean? We got to do better. You know better. Just got to do better.
What's the purpose of talking heavy when ain't nobody talking heavy to you?
No, I'm not doing that. I'm just saying. Maybe
you said it yourself. I might talk heavy. Hold on. Just admit it. You did it.
Let me Cynthia and Zach, because I gotta. I'm going on 2 hours here, and I'm about to start wrapping it.
Okay. Faith, I was going to say this. Sorry, Faith. Yeah, I'm just throwing this in. Black men, when going out to the whole Becky's and doing the Karens and all of that, have to look at it like this. I've seen it. It's happened plenty of times. Karens and Becky's are very judgmental, especially when you get out there like that. And when you start talking and on that conversation and having that topic about your own people, they look at you like side eye, like crazy, as if like you disrespecting your own. Like, that's crazy. That's one thing to be putting me on a pedestal and dating me and all putting me on, giving me my props as far as being better. But you putting down your own, and I'm kid you not, Jen, Cynthia, Faith, white women, Becky's, whatever, the bunnies, whatever you want to call them, they do judge black men like that. And they size you up. You could be putting them up in the clouds, but they looking at you crazy as if like you looking at them like that, that means it's okay. So if I say something racial about your own people, don't you say nothing, black man. They'll even degrade you. They'll call you out. And they ain't just testing you. They looking at you like if you just gonna say that as far as conversation with the whole on some Ben Carson, you know what I mean? Carlton, Fresh Prince level, they gonna look at you and they gonna test who you are as a black man, and they gonna say everything under the sun, even close to even using the N-word. So watch yourselves.
So full circle.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. How are those white women looking at the black man before he even speaks? What's their perspective of him before he speaks?
Oh, but what's their perspective? Well, I'm not in their heads, but I can give you an example. Like, if you really want me to go there, to be honest with you, they looking at you totally on the physical. And you just mentioned before you even open your mouth, before you can I don't think you're going to backpedal, Shep, but before you even open your mouth, let's be honest, they're looking at you physically. This goes, and we can go right back to the whole slavery and roots. They're looking at you and sizing you up on what you got down there, your muscles. They ain't looking at you from your brains and the words coming out your mouth as being maybe a public speaker and your strength. They just looking at you for what they can see you for. And we're not honest with that. That's a whole different conversation. And we need to be honest about that. Before you even open your mouth, they physically looking at you, sizing you up, probably licking their lips as if like, and you could come out all deaf and dumb. The words coming out your mouth. It might kill the situation, but at the same time, physically is what they're looking at and what they can
All
get
right,
out of
so
you. But we don't want to have
all right,
that conversation, do we?
so let me say
But
this.
didn't
Let me
you
say this.
just? But
Let me
didn't
say
you
this.
just
Hold on.
go?
Hold on, Faith. Hold on. So they're not looking at you like you're just, you know, another black person. Are you on the same level as that person's father
Of
and
course,
legacy?
of
Hold on.
course,
Hold on.
you would be fooling
Hold
yourself.
on.
Go ahead,
Hold on. So it doesn't matter what you say about your people because they already have a separate opinion about who you are anyway. Before you even open your
But it's
mouth.
about what do you think about yourself? Because you already know, as a black man, you already know, right, what they're thinking. So it's up to
Right.
you. Like you say, you don't matter. So when you see these different relationships, the person walking around as if like, look what I got. I got me, because black men do it too, Chef. They act like they got a trophy. When they had
So
that
my
next
point,
week,
my
go
point
ahead.
is, how could they possibly be a choice mate for you when you know there's a possibility that that's how they might be thinking about you?
But okay, let me throw this out there. Who's saying that
Thank
they're
you,
a choice
Chef.
mate? Who's saying that they're a choice mate? Are you, once again, I'll flip it back on you. Are you saying that they're better? Are you saying that they're better and
Are
that they're a
you
choice mate?
saying that they're better full circle? Yeah, as long as we can agree that it's different and it's better, fine. But you can't everything you just said proves that it's better. You
No,
just
Okay,
literally
so help
proved
me.
that it's better.
No, but help me out when you're saying everything I said that was better. When I thought earlier said that they're not better because from their children and who they are and how they treat black men doesn't make them better. So I know myself. I didn't say that they were better. I thought maybe I'm just mixing my stuff up and confused. I never said that they were better. And when
So are
Chef
they
answering
better?
his question, what was that?
Are they better?
I just told you that, Jen. I'm telling you, they're not better. They are no different. I never said that they were better.
I just find that hard to believe.
I've never seen them
real
as
quick, guys. I
trophies.
gotta go ahead and welcome.
Oh, I'm sorry, Faith.
to the
I've
panel.
never seen. Okay, thank you, Faith. I've never said that they were better. I've never put them on a pedestal, and I never will put them on a pedestal. I just know that I'm saying that they have already sized you up from the get-go. It's that black man that sits like Boo Boo the Fool and sit back and say, "Oh, I guess I'll just go with the flow and just accept my Becky," knowing that whatever they think of you. That's what I'm saying. And no, I will not ever see them as better. Thank you, Faith. Thank you, Jen. And thank you,
You're
Chef.
welcome. I just don't think it's a boo boo to
No
full.
doubt, full circle.
All right, go
Appreciate
ahead, T. What's up?
Yeah, what's up? So I was listening to everything going on. I guess we all talking about white women raising black or treating black men better or something like that. That
Well,
comes
we
with it.
started off the conversation discussing whether or not white men were the better husbands and spouses for black women, and now we're discussing whether or not white women are the better wives and how can I say, or better relationship partners for black men.
Okay, well let's tackle the first one. As far as it goes for white men, I guess being better husbands for black women. Yeah, I mean, just being honest. I mean, there are more resources available. There are gonna be more resources available to that black woman being with a white man. That's just being honest. So, yeah, that's something that y'all know y'all want to taste, but
That's your opinion, bro. That's not being honest. That's your opinion.
I mean, we can go ahead and keep on pulling up the look. We can. I mean, George Lucas, black woman. We can go ahead and pull up Serena, black woman. We can keep on pulling up a lot of black women. Eve with black woman with a white man. Like, I mean, we can keep on pulling them up. And I'm a black man, and I ain't gonna lie to the facts that they've been getting the better pick than black men. Show me the black man that has literally been picked by a white woman that literally has leveled him up and put him in a position of power. Like, I'm literally, that's what I'm saying. I'm black and balanced. I'm literally being fair. Most of these black women are getting picked by a white dude, regardless of her background, and she gets that. Well, I just got to play that role, and that's it. Like, we can keep calling them. Janet Jackson got picked by an Arab white man, and literally got leveled up. Where now she has half of his fortune, and all she had to do was pop out a baby. I guess I'm not sure if y'all want to count Meghan Markle. Game changer.
You know, BMT, there's something to what you're saying because who was that? Kim Klacik. She's running for public office, and her husband is a white man, And
Yep.
Kim Klacik used to be a stripper.
And yeah, we did talk about that. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's like pick me up, white Jesus, and turn me around and dust my feet on solid ground.
But BMT, Serena, in Serena's case, just jumping in, sir. Serena, doesn't she make more money than him? She has more money than him, I believe.
Right.
You can say, okay, here's the thing about it.
Because you used her as an example. All the other examples is cool except for Serena.
Having money, but let's look at that. Look at how the way society was talking, dogging her out, and treating her when she was dating black rappers and athletes. We weren't raising her up and praising her and doing her like that, and seeing all that stuff. Minute she got with that white dude on Reddit, boy, that was a 180 turnaround meeting Jesus, and I was like, what? This ain't Serena that we knew. She started wearing different kind of clothes, being more motherly, talking about culture and stuff, and I'm like, man.
Okay, so BMT, ask yourself that question then. Do you think that Serena's man or husband is better? I'm going to flip the question on you. From what you just gave of that example of the treatment, from all those men that she dated, rappers, Common, the list goes on and on. Drake, does it make that white man better? That she, even though whoever chose who, or whoever, does it make that white man better? In other words,
none of them were trying to marry her.
What's that?
None of them were trying to marry her.
I get that, but does that make that white man better?
Yeah, because he actually was smart. He said, yo, I'm going to marry her. Who wouldn't marry the top tennis player athlete in the world? And literally,
would you?
Yes, I would have married her. Why would I even hesitate? Like, I don't care. Like, I would have married her. Like, she literally is the top in Wilson and in tennis, most athletes for sports for women. She has she has sources. She has she's a part owner to the Miami I think the Miami Dolphins. She has ownership on different other sponsorships and stuff. Why didn't
these other prominent black men marry her? Ones that are above average, not calling you average, but those ones that are in status positions to have married this woman and walked her down the aisle. BMT. Why did these black men not marry this woman?
Why did none of the black men? Let me tell you why none of the black men married her. Because they thought that they could string her along, and that she was just going to keep playing games. And she literally had times where she said in her interviews, "I don't get it. Why aren't they marrying me?" And literally, she said, they don't mind sleeping on me. They don't mind taking pictures of me and playing around with me, but they don't want to marry me. White dude
because
been with
it
her for
lowers
1 or 2
their
years.
value. Can we just say it? It lowers their value. Why? What person with common sense would marry someone that would lower their value?
Thank you.
It's not. It's hello.
So are we saying that?
That's another question I want to ask to the panel. Do you think that black men are marriage phobes more so than white men?
Do I think so? I mean, do we think that black men are more marriageable than white men?
No. Do you think that black men are more resistant to marriage than white men?
It depends on the person, but sometimes
white men for sure. BMT on that one.
No, hold on. Because see, let's ask. I mean, but honestly, some dudes think that they got it forever. They can be out there in the street forever, and they'll see a chick like Serena, and think that she gonna be waiting for me. And we got quite a few brothers that I'm like, listen, man, stop playing games. If you're gonna cuff her. Don't be dragging her along, man. I mean, white dudes.
Yeah, I think she picked that white dude though, bro. I mean, you're giving too much credit to the white man, bro. Like I sat and listened, but not at all, bro.
I'm not in my feelings about it. I'm not in my. I just look at it for what it is. That literally.
So how does that make a white man a better husband for that black woman? You still haven't said that. What makes that better?
What makes that better?
What makes him a better choice?
Because he wasn't stupid enough to doggone drag it out, and he sees the opportunity.
So now black men are stupid. Black men are stupid.
Did I call black men stupid?
That's how you're answering the question.
He ain't calling them stupid though, bro.
See, ain't nobody calling no black men stupid. But that's
how you answered the question.
Well, I mean, I need you to step out of the feelings and look at it.
I'm not in my
Context mean a
feelings,
lot.
bro.
Step out of the feelings.
Context mean a lot, bro.
I'm not in my feelings. I'm responding to you.
Okay, so here's the thing about it. Those dudes, but she was dating those dudes common for quite a while. We remember that. She dated quite a those black dudes for quite a while, and none of them tried to propose to her. Now,
Yep.
oh, hold on. None of them tried to propose to her. Okay. Now, if
What
they
do you
were going to make this, now hold on. Now, if you want to make the choice, now, right? Women choose who they want to open their legs up. Men choose who they want to marry. Men choose who they want to marry. If that man wanted to doggone, if a rapper can doggone do a public announcement and say, I want to marry you, then most of the time those girls say yes. I doubt on a public platform that Serena would have said no. Like literally, that's the same thing her man did. Literally at a doggone Reddit banquet and said, hey, will you marry me? Oh, what did she do? Yes, I will marry you. She did it
Because
right
they
there.
like the
So,
idea of
come on now.
marriage, Ben. Look, BMT, I don't want to cut you brothers out, but a lot of women like the idea of marriage. Being a woman, being a wife, this man claiming you, he's with you, he's giving you his finances, his time, his personality, all of
Right.
that. Most women like that. They will lie and act like, I'm good by myself. No, you're not. You need a man. And I'm going to tell you why you do. Because you want attention too goddamn much. That's why. And at the end of the day, like, of course, when like Serena could have been like, it's sort of like Kobe. Y'all know Kobe took Brandy on his prom, right?
Exactly, Zach. Good
She
point.
couldn't knock him down. You couldn't get Kobe. You Brandy, bitch. Like, I mean,
Right.
not bitch.
Kobe had his
I'm
preference.
sorry. But
Hey,
that's
Chef,
the whole
I'm gonna
thing.
go
We're
with this
dealing with the
example
best
after
of
Zach
black
is
men,
done.
so-called best of black men. They switch races in a heartbeat. And I'm gonna tell you why they do it. Because they feel like a lot of black women make black men feel like they try to belittle black men, like you're just.
But don't you think that black men also belittle black women, just like Taylor Scott posted? They belittle Serena. They call her.
No, when black men get angry, that's when they speak out. But black men are naturally loyal. Black men love black women, but we would never say we love y'all that much, but that's the truth.
Hey, but can we be honest again? Here we go again. Now, BMT, you mentioned yourself. You said, oh, yeah, in a minute, you would have snatched up Serena, meaning married her. You got another example of Oprah and Stedman. Now, for whatever they reason in their private life is whatever it is, we got stories, and that's a story for another time. You can almost look at it like now, if somebody, a Rothschild, came up to Oprah and married her with twice the money that she got, would she step to the plate and marry him? Maybe not. We're not being honest right now because the average person, hold on, BMT, the average person will sit back and say, yeah, I would marry Oprah, knowing doggone well, I'm gonna say this, Faith, just like women look at men physically, men look at women physically as well, because we're not being honest and we're being disingenuous. Let's be honest. Black women, as far as the emotions, the visions, black women look at us and we look at women too. And we can't sit here and say, oh yeah, I'd take an Oprah because we know doggone well there's no money in this world. We could play that off, but we not trying to marry no Oprah. And it's the same that happened with Serena. And that's why old boy snatched her up, or vice versa.
She said Stedman was indecisive. Stedman was indecisive. She literally said that, and he said that Stedman was indecisive. He would get cold.
She ain't married Stedman yet.
Y'all don't know. I literally said he was indecisive. Like he can never make up his mind. Women
money. If I was Oprah, I wouldn't marry either.
Exactly.
There you go.
You marry him. That's your man.
So you think
you with him? You live with him? You tell him your business?
Y'all know what indecisive is? Like, I just got. Y'all know what indecisive.
Man, I just don't think that tennis dude would have been checking for Serena if she wasn't playing tennis. And
there you go. Thank you, Chef. Yeah. Right time at the right moment at the right time.
Make up his mind. Come on now. I'm literally telling y'all what Oprah already said, and he said I was on about. I was too indecisive sometimes. Sometimes I want to marry her. I had the ring. I didn't give it to her. He literally, he said,
he's a beta man. He doing it over money.
He didn't want. He didn't. No, sometimes some people don't want.
So BMT, all these years go by like we on this earth forever, like they got forever. That's their business though, but that goes right back to our conversation. That can go back to some of these content creators. How long does it take to someone to, that's why I brought up the Rothschild example. If a Rothschild jumped off and came up in Oprah's face, what could you imagine what she would say? Would she say yes or no? And he got 10 times the money, 3 times the money. Would she take that white man over Stedman? Think about it.
Let's hit at it.
Exactly, Zach.
Let's stop BSing. Let's hit at it more locally. We have men and women that are in relationships shacking up, and the man will strum the woman around, and she'll follow him basically like a dumb puppy, and he'll never marry that chick, but get her knocked up, say that she's loyal, she's that babe, and all the X, Y, and Z, and then guess what? He still won't marry her after 3 or 4 years.
She don't want commitment.
2020 struggle love does not pay the bills. 2020 struggle love, sir, does not pay the bills. That's what it comes down to. That's just honest. No one believes in struggle love. That's just how it is.
Yeah, struggle love is old. I got my shit together. I'm cool.
We see the goalpost moving really fast, huh? Goalpost moving fast, huh? Now, because now
BMT, you right. I want you that.
Like that ain't our community.
No, it is. That is black folks like a motherfucker. You right.
Okay, so let's not pretend. So we literally, and then we could pull up Drake. Drake literally done knocked up a whole doggone porn star. That's low.
She was a porn star.
So BMT, would that white man have married Serena if she didn't have that money? Let's be honest. Would that white man have gotten with Serena if she did not have her wealth?
She taller than him.
Let's pull up the rest of them.
I think that white marry black women all the time.
Majority of our
are you guys
majority? Go ahead, say. No, I didn't say nothing.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say this. Majority of our black men that are successful end up knocking up the bottom Instagram model or the doggone girl that works at Dairy Queen, and then they complain, how did she get my money? And I'm like, well, dang, you didn't try to find a doctor. You dang sure didn't try to find nobody that has no kind of education or literally got anything going.
Like that.
Did he marry the Dairy Queen? Did he marry the Dairy Queen, or did he shacked up with the Dairy Queen? That's the difference. Is he marrying the Dairy Queen or McDonald's chick? Is the question. There you go.
He don't marry the Dairy Queen, but he keep knocking her up. But
isn't the whole point about marriage when we were talking about Serena and the white man? Isn't this whole conversation right now about marriage?
Okay, so let's step away from Serena. How do you explain George Lucas and his wife?
Aren't they married?
Yes, they are married.
Okay, so what's your point?
Well, how do you explain that? What
do you mean? How do you explain it? I'm talking about they're married.
Commitment. She wanted commitment. She wanted to be. Bro, y'all have to understand, but I can't tell a man what to think because y'all are men. You probably know way more stuff than me, but men have to stop being naive about women. They change their minds. You can't put it past them. They will do anything. Because of that, the women that you deal with, you have to take her at face value for what you see. This includes personality, being around her family. You got kids by, she work, all that. Anything. Like, we can't get caught up in trying to figure women out because men will never do that.
Right, Zach. Right, because when you see a black person that's open to dating interracially, you see a big difference in that black person's personality. Right or wrong?
That's the point I was making, bro. It's different. White women are not better than black women. On record. No, most black men would take a chocolate white. I said white. My bad, excuse me. A chocolate black chick if she have a good attitude and treat them right. Most black men would do it, but some of these black men date other races women quick, real easy, quick. Go out with them, text them, meet up with them. They spend that at their house. Black women think this is a game. Like, you can look at Kobe and Michael. Michael,
right?
He not even with. Michael Jordan not with his wife no more. They live in Chicago out here about where I'm at.
So you never came across.
Our Kelly lived out here by my house. He had that mansion where he was
came across a little girl, whatever. You never came across a Valley girl that's black and acts white?
I came across a
No,
white
no, I'm
chick
talking
just
about
to
the person
listen.
who disagreed. I was talking about the person who disagreed. Somebody said they don't know
No,
about that.
bro, white women are not better than black women, but it's just different. Black men are more laid back, and white women will be like, "Yeah, you a man," and no, okay, and that, you know what I'm saying? She can't stop sucking you off. Period. The black women will cuss you the hell out. Not all of them, not all, but most of them. They
Like
feel
I
like
said,
I ain't finna do this. I ain't listen to this nigga, and that's true about black women. Let's be honest, bro.
like I said, I've been in the military for a long time. People pick and choose what they want. If you got the right resources, you want it, you'll pay for it and you'll take it off the shelf. If you don't play games. That's I'm just telling y'all straight. If I saw it, I wanted it, I got it. That's just straight. That's just straight shooter. Some people want to just play games with people. People ain't got no time for that. That's the problem with people. You can say as good as you want to be, but you ain't good if
BMT,
if you
you
ain't playing
still a
the
man.
championship.
BMT, you still a man, bro. Of
Well,
course you're
okay,
going to do that.
okay.
You got to control the situation. You're a man. There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
That's
I mean,
normal.
I
This has,
control my.
been this has been a very interesting discussion, but I think we're going to probably end up having to table it or do part 2. But I want to start wrapping it up with the final thoughts, and I want to go ahead and I want to start with Zach. Zach, do you have any final thoughts?
I appreciate you for having me on, Faith. Good panel. I mean, y'all be chilling. It's all good. No dig at none of the brothers out here, but I'm not, just for the record, because I'm on this. They're recording this. This is a live platform. No white women are not better than black women, but when black men deal with other races of women, it is different. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not putting white women on the pedestal and all this. No, I'm not. I'm just being realistic. Period. Other than that, appreciate you for having me on. And to the brothers out there in the space, y'all know what we talk about. You know we say the same shit to get it through your thick fucking skull. Figure it out. Grow up. Do what you gotta do. That's it.
All right, Zach.
I
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
for coming. Please come again.
All right, Zach.
All right. Chef Disaster, do you have any final thoughts for the panel and for the people?
I most certainly do, Faith. My last food for thought. Eat, drink, and be wary. Consume responsibly. Just because the person seems like they're for you, on the outside looking in or financially, doesn't mean that they're for you, because on the inside is the true person. And if there's strain before you get into a relationship, maybe you should look for another option, because you shouldn't have to worry about what the person's family is going to say about you, what the person's peers are going to say about you, and things like that before you get into the relationship. And if that's something you're willing to overlook, then go ahead, so be it. You can't be stopped. But for me, I think to stay within your culture and your race is the best thing for you to do. And with that being said, peace and love to everybody on the panel. I appreciate all your perspectives. I love your channel, Faith. Everybody have a great night.
All right. Thank you, Chef Disaster. And it's always a pleasure having you up. All right. So now we're down to full circle. Full circle. Do you have any final thoughts for the people in the panel?
I'll say this, it's 2020, Faith. If you decide to branch out, expand your options from the past, the present, or the future, don't ever, 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 ever forget who you are. Don't ever forget who you are. And once again, you look fabulous. Thank you, Faith.
All right. Thank you, Full Circle.
You're welcome.
Jin, what's up, lady?
Hey, thank you again for having me on the panel. My only last words, kind of what I had mentioned earlier, often it's about the access and resources. So just know why you're getting into that relationship. Be very firm. Make sure the both of you are very, very clear on why you're here. And really, really think about that and how it's going to affect the relationship long term. Please think about it before you move forward with anything and get too crazy, too deep into it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining the panel, Jen Jen. I really appreciate having you up here. And do come again. Come up more often, girl. You got a lot of great things to talk about.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. All right. Last but not least, my BBN partner in crime, BMT. What's up?
Yeah, what's up? I told y'all nobody gonna like it when I'm balanced. And I know y'all ain't gonna like me telling y'all that, but fellas, we gotta start learning how to. You might want to start taking the textbook on how the women are doing, and start, dating or moving up the ladder, on things that can advance you in your power, not just something that look pretty on the shelf, but ain't moving you forward. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the problem we're doing. You're getting these trophy women, but ain't none of them can do nothing for you. They got resources. That's a big issue that black men we're not really mastering. It's the art of getting the resources and stuff. Um, that's a fight that other men, when they come to our community, they look for something or they take something that is resourceable that they can use to benefit them. That's how they push themselves ahead. As far as it goes for, and I've been seeing mixed couples all throughout the service. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be for legacy, money, or literally ideals that benefit them. They do it out of the intention of furthering their position. I'm not gonna be one to tell y'all, hey, don't get with nobody that you don't feel, because it's me, my bedroom, my life. I'm gonna do me. The hell would anybody else say? Because you didn't help me build, so you don't get no say so on what I do. So I'm just letting y'all know right now. And that's honestly the code right now. So that loyalty thing, if you ain't helping that person move forward or pay no bills, you don't get no say so to tell that woman she should stay loyal. She need to be waiting for the right man, or the same thing for a black man. You need to, nah, man, do what's right by you. That's your first. That's gonna be your culture. What you doing at home, how you build up that family, or whatever you build from there. So like I said, just be smart about it. Do I think any other race is superior? No, I don't think so. That's stupid. But how we're advancing as black people when it comes to building family, we're regressing. We're regressing. You know what I'm saying? Baby mama and wife are not the same. Sorry. Don't ever compare us. Don't ever compare them like they are. Baby daddy and husband are not the same. So that's all I gotta say. Faith, again, you did an amazing job. Keep it up. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the BBN channel. We have 20 subscribers. We're still pushing for more. Let's keep it going.
All right. Thank you so much, BMT, for coming up and gracing the panel. As always, you bring the magic and the fire and the brimstone. But I got to go ahead and pay homage to my girl Cynthia, because without her, this topic would not have been possible. So what's up, Cynthia? Go ahead and bless us with your final thoughts, sister.
I was reading or looking and someone was saying we as African Americans need to stop comparing ourselves to other races. We need to stop putting ourselves down based on other races, and that's what this was about. When you first meet somebody, we give people respect just because you're a human being, not because your sex, your gender, your age, but simply because you're a human being. And if Black people cannot begin to take control of ourselves and monitor the way we talk to people, we can modify the way we talk when we stand in front of a judge on our jobs. But we don't seem to be able to do that same thing when we're talking to our sister and brother. It's crazy. So right. Before we can even get to the other stuff, we have to do the basic things we taught 5-year-olds: how to speak to people, your tone, your language. And sometimes you can be disrespectful in your words without even raising your voice. Yeah. So as the Black men, please come respectful, because these women aren't disrespecting you. We haven't disrespected you, but it continues to be you all and the fighting words. I ain't trying to fight with nobody. Ain't nobody here trying to fight. So consistently bringing that type of energy doesn't move us forward. We are not able to get to the next level if we got to keep going back and rehashing this. And that's all I wanted to say. Look forward to the next discussion and the next topic.
All right. Thank you, Miss Cynthia. I want to also address something that I see going down here in the chat. Nobody is a pig. Over here on this channel, everybody is open to have their own opinion. Okay, so we're not going to get into the habit over here of calling people names just because you don't agree with them or their ideology. Okay, Jen made a lot of great points on this panel as well. So please, respect her. Just because women, we are not a monolith here. We're not a monolith in the real world. Okay, you're going to be in the real world with a lot of beautiful people who have different opinions, and it doesn't make them less than you. It doesn't make them a pick me or a simp or none of this other stuff. Okay, so we've got to get out of this whole name calling thing just because people don't agree. We got to, as Black women, learn how to disagree with our sisters respectfully. Okay, respectfully. And the same thing with the brothers. Learn how to disagree with each other respectfully. Okay, as a group of people, we got to learn how to love one another in spite of our differences. Okay, and these are very small differences when we get to thinking about it. Okay, when you really, really look at it, they're small differences. Okay, so whatever Jen thinks is probably not going to be the same thing that Ricky thinks, and vice versa. Okay. So please, respect one another. That's all I ask. But once again, great topic, Cynthia. I'm glad that you brought this to the forefront. The wall is going to be defeated, okay? We do not have to be relegated to this wall. Or if we are relegated to this wall, we sure enough going to be all sitting here dating at the wall, because there's going to be a lot of us bouncing off that joker. But to the point that I wanted to make earlier about our white men better mates than Black men, the answer is no. There's no better. Seriously, there's no better. The only thing that's different between Black men and white men is what I said earlier. Is this: resources. Resources. That's the only difference. Other than that, it's the same thing. Same exact thing. White men cheat on their women. You got white men going down to the Supreme Court trying to get alimony changed. You got Black men online trying to get financial abortions. It's the same thing. Okay? Same thing, different skin tone. Remember that. Just remember that. And Black men, same thing with you. Becky is not better than Boomquisha, okay? It's just the same thing, different skin tone. That's all it is. Becky may say it a little bit different than Boomquisha, but it's the same thing, same exact thing. So we got to stop, giving them all this credit and saying that they're better, because there isn't. They got their dysfunction the same way that we have our dysfunction. They got their bad baby kids the same way we got our bad chitlins running around here. So it's the same stuff, just a different skin tone. And with that, I want to thank everybody that came in here and support the channel. Shout out to Chef Disaster for the $5 super chat. I really did appreciate that. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and end it on that note. You guys have been awesome. Even Zach came in here and he made some really awesome points. And I agree with a lot of stuff that he said, and I disagree with some of the things he said. But the point is, we walk away and we're still okay. We're still one big family. And family is what is very important in our communities. So you guys take care, and I will see you back around here again. Peace.